Morning all. Hello my loves, how are we? Are we well? Now, let's pop those on. Let's get this going. Hope you hadn't, hang on, let's get rid of that. This is terrific. Bin that, let's do that. Get rid of that. Up we go there. Live chat back in the game. Morning, my loves. Hope you had a nice day off yesterday. Hope you had a lovely Sunday. Played some golf yesterday. Yes! Played some golf. Terrific. Played golf with Hannah. My lovely Hannah. We played together. Very well. She played very nicely. Oh yes. Terrific. I love it. Maxine, good morning. Katie, morning, my love. Lara, guten Tag. Maisie Daisy, how you doing, my love? Kaz, James, Anna, Maddie, Michelle, Gillian, no, Lauren Pitt. I feel so proud to do that all the time. Lee over in Arizona, how you doing, my love? Safrone, Lauren P, Victoria, all of you. AJ, Michelle. How are we all? Are we all very well? Jolly good, sun's out, which is terrific. Let's start with the questions. First of all, before we go any further, I'd like to say good morning to Julie, all the way from Sydney. She's tuning in. Much love, my love. Are you from Australia, or have you? Did you start here and go over there? There's a lot of good dancers come from Australia over the years. Certainly from Sydney. Some great dancers, great teachers. Oh yes, it's a terrific place for dancers. So lovely to see you. What is it over there now? It must be the middle of the night, 12 hours. Yeah, it must be late in the evening. Must be the evening over there. Let's go in with the questions. Right, hello. Right, here we go. Hello, Anton. Hi, Aim. How are you, my love? Although you're going to be at work now, aren't you? Oh, right. So you'll probably see this a bit later. I was intrigued to know if you all had been, if you'd been trained, if I had been trained in all of the different dances as a professional before you started Strictly. If not, which ones did you have to learn and which were the hardest? I didn't know whether the dances such as Argentine tango and salsa required in competitions you took part in or not. Well, good question, Aim. Personally, I started off as a ballroom and Latin American dancer. Then I trained in classical dance and ballet. Didn't do tap, contemporary dance, sort of what we used to call modern. It's jazz, that sort of style. I did that as sort of an extra curriculum trying to achieve, although it wasn't, we didn't use any of it in the sort of competition world. It was just extra sort of knowledge and information and training for me. Although that sort of style did creep into my personal sort of dancing, certainly the classical line and stuff like that, and the sort of jazz thing. I love doing all that. What we do, we call the specialist dances on Strictly Come Dancers. So Strictly Come Dancing. We have American, so you have the 10 standardised ballroom and Latin American dances: the waltz, tango, foxtrot, quick step, and Viennese waltz, and then the cha-cha, rumba, jive, samba, paso doble. I think that's all of them. I think that's 10. But now we have, over the years, we've introduced extra dances because we have more weeks, and we have American Smooth, of course, Argentine Tango, Salsa, Charleston, and now we've introduced the Couple's Choice, which basically means do what you like. Those dances we can have on Strictly Come Dancing, a choreographer come in, somebody who's a specialist in things like Charleston. So in the early days, it was really useful to have people in because although we could do the dance, we didn't have an abundance of choreography to draw on like we do the other styles of dances. So putting together routines was probably a bit trickier. And also, it's quite nice. I always felt it quite nice, and I still do now, having somebody else in for a week, just give a different voice in the studio, because my partner, I'm sure, gets bored of my voice banging on day after day. I get bored of it myself. So it must be a disaster for her. So it's quite nice to have another voice in there, just to do a work with another choreographer on one of these specialised dances. But we're all sort of up to speed, and I've been doing it a long time, and so we could do it ourselves now. But as I say, it's quite nice to have another voice in just for a bit of a change, really. So that's those really. I hope that sort of answers the question. But it is it's true. I did everything else because I wanted to. I just wanted to become a better dancer. But tap is the thing I've come to last. Well, tap and commercial. That's for the group dances. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't say I was the dude, but I love doing it. But I sort of make it a bit jazzier than hard commercial because probably about 5 years too old for it. But I still jazz it up and a bit Charleston it up as well, and it's and I love it. I enjoy it enormously. So but tap. There you are, Shim Sham with a Mr. Shuffle. Hi Anton, says Julie Sears. How are you, my love? In American Smooth, how do you decide whether you do Foxtrot or waltz bass, or Foxtrot or waltz bass, and why are you allowed lifts in this dance and not in the other ballroom dances? Well, that's a very good question actually. Because in competition American Smooth, Lee would be familiar with this because it was introduced in America. I don't think they do lifts actually, and certainly in the ballroom Latin American world, competitively we don't do lifts. I think it's because the American Smooth is a bit of an exhibition dance, and so we can do some lifts just to add a bit of variety, really. And I'm delighted we're allowed to do lifts because one or two of my partners have been better when they've been off the floor, quite frankly. A number of them have been very good on the floor, but it's for safety. I like to keep them off the floor. How do we choose bass? It's really the type of song you choose, really, because you can put American Smooth style to any of the rhythms. You can do American Smooth style tango, if you so wish. You can get a bit Paso Doble-esque. I've seen a few over the years, and it sort of looks like I'm doing a Paso Doble, but until they get back into hold. So that really is the basis. It's what the music you're going to dance to and the sort of the dance you're going to do, really. There's been a few American Smooth Viennese waltzes on Strictly Come Dancing. They're really lovely, actually. American Smooth Viennese waltzes are beautiful. I love doing those. I invariably go for a Foxtrot because I just think they're all the best songs. And also it gives me a real sense of the Fred and Ginger. You know, I love a bit of Fred and Ginger. So, yeah, it depends on your song, essentially. That's essentially depends on your song and how you decide whether you're going to do one rhythm or another. Joe. Mahone. Oh, I bet I've said that wrong. I apologise if I have, Joe. In quick step, how do you keep the top half of your body totally still while your legs are going fast? Good question. You know, it's funny because it's an optical illusion. You don't really keep it rigidly still. In actual fact, the more rigid you keep it, the more it ends up moving. It's a bit like a tree, really, in the wind. It moves gently in the wind, but if it was rigid, it'd probably get blown over. And that's the thing about the frame. It's a bit of an optical illusion. It's slightly counterintuitive, really. The hold in ballroom dancing is never still. It's always slightly moving, but because it's in time, sequence, context of what we're doing, you don't really see it. So although it just sort of gently breathes out and breathes in here like this, and I'm doing it through the whole of the body. If I just move my arms about like this, the hold, then it's obvious and it looks wrong. But because it's all part of the same thing, it does have an element of what we used to call breathing. The arms breathe to accommodate the lady in the position and the variation you're doing. They don't drop. For sure, they don't drop. They don't do this, but they do a bit of this. They do a bit of breathing. But if you see it, it means it's being sort of done independently, which is a shocker. You get all this sort of stuff going on from the boys, where the arm starts to go behind the back and the elbow starts to drop. Disaster. But there is a little bit of movement. So the key is not to keep them rigid. The key is to have them a relaxed hold. My old teacher used to call it soft strong. No wonder it took me so long to understand what he's talking about. Soft strong. So although it's a strong hold, it's soft. You know, it's always breathing. And so in quick step it's even more important because, you know, we're dashing down the floor doing all this sort of grapevines and stuff. If I hold this still, the whole thing starts to rattle. So I've got to let it, you know, I've just got to let it be a bit more relaxed. And then in that way, it will move, but it won't be susceptible. You won't be able to see it. I think susceptible is the wrong word, isn't it? You won't be able to see it. And also, it's a technical thing with the feet. If your feet don't crash onto the ground, if you have good feet, you're dancing on your balls well, and you're not too hard in the legs, then also your frame won't rattle around. But the key to it really is just essentially the position of the body in relation to your partner. So you're always sort of facing towards you, even if I'm on promenade, I'm here. It's when you get into positions like this, where you're all twisted off, and then it's a disaster. It's a disaster. So Joe, I hope that sort of gives you an idea. Deborah, hello my love. In the salsa, I struggle sometimes with timing. Should this be danced on the beat or off beat? Also, could you suggest any ways that I could improve the technique? Now, salsa is very easy to time because it goes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. There's 4 beats in music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. But we only dance on the first 3. So we go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So you go and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And that's it. Now, that's the salsa. The mambo, so I'm led to believe, is danced on a 2 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So that's a big part of the difference between the 2 dances. There's a lot of similarities to 2 dances, but the big thing is that one's danced on the 2 count, one's danced on the on the first count. But the salsa always on the 1. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Regarding technique, it's just loose and down. You've just got to, get a bit down with it here like this, and that's the key to it really. As soon as you get a little bit up here, it sort of feels a bit wrong. There are people who dance it like that actually in salsa. Over in Cuba and all those places over there, it's like Argentine tango really. It's a feel thing with this. It's not a technique like the rumba, straight in the front knee as you land on it, let the hip come backwards on straight in the back knee, step to the side, let the hip go, hip softens, the legs. There's none of that old stuff. You haven't got to worry about that. You just hit the 1 count. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Ay-ya, be-ba. And make sure you've got loose arms, soft arms. And then enjoy yourself, really. It's down in the legs, you're just dancing on the toes a lot of the time. You dance on the flat feet if you want to. Don't do heel leads, that's a disaster. And it's just a feel thing. It's a feel, it's a sort of an emotional thing. You're having a great time. You're invariably going to be dancing in some sort of club, nightclub, sort of very social environment, and the music's going to be playing, and that's why it's sort of like this, the dance, because there's going to be people around. It's not a big expansive dance. You can sort of cross-body lead and start to change position, a little couple of turns, and that's the fun of it. It's getting all these bits and pieces together, and that's it really. Just sort of enjoy it a little bit like that. Hello, you've got a couple of questions here, and that's Josh from Blackpool. Hello, my darling. How are you? And that's the key to salsa, really. I have to be honest with you. It's not my personally comfortable dance to do. I feel a little bit sort of upright when I'm doing it here, or if I dance it a bit down, I feel like my back's gone off a little. I'm having a bit of a nightmare. So for me, it's quite a struggle. I have to, if I'm going to be brutal, right feel for. But it is, it's just that. You've got to sort of lose a bit of inhibition, lose a bit of use a bit of technique, I say that loosely, and then just sort of get involved with the rhythm. That's the key to it, really. This computer of mine drives me crazy, Lee, I apologise about that. Sue Ringle saying hi. Hi, my love. Maisie Daisy. Do I have any advice for you as I'm a dancer? Maisie Daisy, I have, what I would say to you is try everything. I know you're a young dancer, a young aspiring dancer. Try everything. Don't sort of latch onto one form of dance. Don't just go, right, I'm going to be a ballroom dancer and nothing else. Don't do that. Try it all, because you'll find it'll all help. Everything goes into the melting pot and you become a more rounded dancer. And of course, in the future, you don't know which direction you might go into. You might become a ballroom dancer, you might want to become a musical theatre, you might go into the classical world, you might just become a bit of a shimshak. You might, who knows? So do it all, because at some stage in the future, if you do become a professional dancer, you want to earn some money at this, and you'll probably want to get some work. So don't limit yourself by going, oh no, I don't do that. I do this. So do everything, become marvellous at everything, and then you have more opportunity of choice. Then you can decide what you'd like to do going forward. Lose my inhibition. That's a little bit reserved. That's the key, Deborah, is you've got to lose a bit of inhibition and, enjoy the stuff. Elizabeth, could you help me with the steps for the reverse top in the cha-cha-cha? The rhythm is the same. Step, step, cha-cha-cha. Step, step, cha-cha-cha. It's exactly the same rhythm. So as long as you're, and of course it goes this way, cha-cha-cha. And as long as you're beating that rhythm out, that's the key. It seems to be like you lose yourself halfway through the step with the step, step, cha-cha-cha bit. Because you're going around in a circle, it's easy to, you don't know if you're Arthur or Martha, and you lose yourself in the rhythm steps. I would say chant it out loud. Step, step, cha-cha-cha. Step, step, cha-cha-cha. And you won't go wrong. That's the best way. The best advice I ever got, really, when I started years ago, was to count out loud. It's one thing to count in your head, but it's never quite the same if you count in your head as it is if you count out loud. You seem to pay more attention to yourself if you count out loud. Step, step, cha-cha-cha, step, step, cha-cha-cha. And you won't go wrong. Give that a go, Elizabeth, and let me know how you get on. Valerie, hi Anton, could you please suggest a simple lift? Either in ballroom or Latin, that my partner could do without giving him a hernia. I'm not a 10-ton Tessie. Well, fortunately, Valerie, I've met you, so I know this to be true. But he breaks out into a sweat whenever I mention it. Well, you can't just spring it on him, you see, Val. Do the lift, oh Christ. It would be a bucket list moment for me, although not for him, poor soul. Come on, Val's partner, get her up off the floor. What's the matter with you? Now, the thing about lifts is there's a technique to lifting, obviously, but not only for that man, but also for the girl. The girls, you've got to lift yourself. You can't sit into a lift. You have to lift your body, you have to lift your rib cage. You can't be lighter than you are. We've all tried to stand on the scales and being about 5 pounds lighter than we are, and that doesn't really work. But what you can do is you can lift. It's to do with central gravity, really. You can lift it here. You can lift your rib cage here, and it gives you a sort of a lightness about you, and it makes it easier to lift because everything is sort of being picked up. So all the energy is going in the right direction, which is up, not down. So if you sit into a lift like this, it's a disaster. And also the timing of you might have a little jump into it. So the timing of the jump bit is really important. So lifts are about timing and centre of gravity. And for the man, what you have to do is, if you can do any sort of lift, is nothing changes. You've got to bend your knees, keep your back straight. That's very important because you're lifting straight up. And keep the lady near you. Don't try and lift the lady over. So if I have bad posture here, like this, and I try and lift the lady here, like this, even if I put my hand round her waist, here like this, and then one hand round her waist and the other hand under her thigh. If the lady does this sort of position here, where she has this leg here and this leg here, that's sort of what we call attitude lift, with both legs. And you just pick her up, stick her on your hip, put your hand under a sort of her left thigh, hand round the waist, your hand, lady's hand goes round the man's shoulder, and you pick the lady up and you just twirl around like this. Now, if I'm going to do this and I stand like this is a disaster because one, she's too far away from my body. So now she's already going to be heavy. You can't say that. So you have to stand up straight, you have to get as close as you can to her, you bend your knees, you get hold of her here, and then you pick her up against you. This is vitally important. You don't pull her to you, you pick her up against you, so we go up together. Now, you find her centre of gravity, you must get below it. If you try to pick her up from the ribs, you're both you and her. So you have to get below it. And that's why, ladies, you have to pick up your body. You have that lovely pick up through the body here. And boys, you go down underneath that centre of gravity here, you bend your knees, and you pick her up with your legs. How do I pick her up with her legs? I've got hold of her with my arms. I know, ridiculous. But you hold on to her, everything goes up, but the power comes from the legs. And then you twirl around. As you pick her up, start to move. Pick and move at the same time. And then put her down. Place her down, don't drop her. And don't go like this. This is, think that, but don't say it out loud. Oh, Christ almighty. Jesus. That was amazing. Light as a feather. Oh. So, I mean, give it a go by all means. My advice is don't do it unaided. Make sure somebody else is in the room with you as well. Hi, Alan. Morning, my love. Elaine from Holland. Pierre Dulaine and Yvette. I think the name is Yvonne Mercier, I think. They were a couple. This is from Elaine. This question. This is a statement from Elaine. Now, Pierre Dulaine had an incredible teacher, a man he took lessons with in his career. And I was fortunate enough to have lessons from the same man for a number of years. He was a great lifter, this man. His name was John Delroy, a legend of all time. A massive inspiration in my dancing life, for me. And he, incredible man, an incredible lifter. Knew everything there was to do about lifting and how to lift and create lifts. And Pierre and Yvonne, I wish I knew her name, it's so rude not to remember her name. If you remember it, Elaine, let me know. Beautiful, beautiful dancers, went to America, went on to Broadway. There's a big show in a Broadway, they won Tonys, I think, in a Broadway for the show. Called Hotel, something to do with Hotel, can't remember. I'll look into it. But absolutely remarkable, and yes, Elaine, absolutely beautiful. Incredible. I mean, you're so lucky to have seen a demonstration by Pierre. And his partner. What a couple they were. Let's have a look here. Oh, good morning, Anton. In Foxtrot, would you pause in the hover for a Kodak moment, or is a continuous in and out of? Continuous in and out in the hover. Depends how you want to do it, really. To be honest with you. You never really stop in ballroom dancing. You never just go stop. You can do, but it's sort of boring. So what you would do is you would hover and you would continue to move. and then come out here like this. And the lady would continue just to shape and shape. So that's what I would do. I'd get into the moment here, I'd continue it on, and then I'd come out into something else with the curtains maybe. So would I absolutely stop in Foxtrot? Personally, no. I mean, you can do. You can go like this and look for the audience, have a bit of a moment, sort of showing off really. So I would give it a bit of that and then come out. So you can take longer in there, so people can take as many photographs as they like. I'm inclined to allow people to take photographs when I'm dancing. And then I'll come out here. But to stop is, for me, not really. And it's also more musical and more interesting if you, I wonder how he picked up everything. Great leg strength. I can't remember what I was just saying, got sidetracked. Answer my question on the chat. So, where's your question on the chat? Hang on. So send me your question again. So, let me have a look. Have I ever taught Hannah to dance, Pascal? Yeah, we have a little dance around the kitchen. She's getting rather good. Have I ever dropped anyone whilst dancing, Barbara? No, I haven't. Let's not mention Nottingham. I can't do. Ask me again. Yes, it does. International Dance Teachers Association, as far as I'm aware. Although I've so long not been involved in it, I don't know. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, it does. Do I have a particular technique for remembering routines, Gillian? Repetition is the best I can offer you there. Have I ever dried and totally blanked during a performance? Not on Strictly Come Dancing, actually. One nasty incident with Anne Widdicombe where I did miss a bit out, but not on Strictly. In the group dances sometimes, I spend most of my time copying. I never really sort of learned them well enough, to be honest with you. I tell you what, the reason why, because I watch the group dances back, and the camera shots are so like this, or I show a bit of action, you're sort of never in it. I just go glance across, oh right, okay, just, oh well, there he was in the back. So I sort of, I don't really invest as much in them as I should do, really. I do as much as I remember, yeah, but mentally, I know I'm not going to be seen. So you sort of go, oh, I'm not going to bother, I'm not going to be seen. If there's something where you're going to be, you're in the shop and you know you're in the shop, but it's like a 2-minute number, and you might go in and out shop once and wander off, and you go, well, I'm killing myself over it. So you sort of do it for the audience, really, but I'm really focusing on my partner during Strictly, my competitive partner. So that's my real focus. I'm only interested in her, really. When I'm on stage, I've had moments where I've looked one way and everybody else has looked the other, but I still maintain they were wrong and not me. We did a wonderful thing a couple of years ago, actually, the opening number of the show, big tap number, white tail suit if you were there. And we're all on big coins, it's a 42nd Street number. And we're all supposed to be, we're all in line, and we're, I don't know, shim-shamming or something on the coins, and we're all facing this way. Here, we've come out of something. Here. For some reason, I've gone and I'm looking. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Crystal. I'm looking at Crystal at this point in time, thinking, I don't remember looking at you at this point during this number. This is odd. This seems like a new moment for us. What's happened here? You lot must have gone a bit wrong. Turns out. Sue, send me your question here. Oh, I might have lost the live chat. There we go. Oh, hang on. So, what do you think of? What do I think of same-sex couples on Strictly? To be honest with you, Sue, I don't really care. To be honest with you, do it, don't bother me. My only thing is how they're going to judge it. That's the only thing, you know, what's Strictly, it's got to be fair, because it's the BBC, so everything's got to be fair. Is it easy or difficult to dance, sing and dance at the same time? I'll answer that question in a second then, Maddie. So that's the only thing really. How do you adjudicate it? How do you adjudicate two boys against a boy and a girl, or two boys against two girls if we're doing lifts? You know, American Smooth, the big spectacular lifts, big strong boys. And then you know, it's you know, it's not. I know it's different when you've got, I don't know, you've got a Kelly Brook dancing in the same competition as an Anne Whitcomb. Let's use that as an example, for example. But it's sort of the same, you know, you can just choreograph it differently. How you're going to adjudicate, you know, I don't know. I think personally I should have a same-sex Strictly Come Dancing and just have the same-sex Strictly Come Dancing. There you go, same-sex Strictly Come Dancing, and make it a show. I don't see any reason why not. But that's my only thing. If they came up with an idea of how to adjudicate it, then there you go. Oh yes, now what did you say there, Maddie? You said, if I did singing and dancing at the same time, would it be hard or difficult for me to do? Also, do you have any tips on breathing when you're singing and dancing at the same time? And would you be able to teach me how to do it on Insta Live? Maddie, I'm sure we can do some of that. We're going to keep this channel going, so we can do it on the channel if you like. Singing and dancing at the same time. What do? The first thing I do is when I'm singing a line, I make sure I don't move too much. So I don't do anything jumpy when I'm singing a line, which seems obvious, of course, because it's gonna throw the vocal off. I also make sure when I'm singing, I sing and face front. So I try not to use any vocal when I'm doing this. I'll fly me to the moon and let me. So I'll come back to you before I've started singing. Fly me to the moon and let me sing among the stars. Sorry, it seems a bit odd if I'm singing to the band and not to the audience. Breathing is imperative. You've got to breathe. So you must focus on your breathing when you're, if only just to sustain the correct phrasing through the song. But also, if you're dancing and singing, it's even more important because you'll lose breath more quickly than you would normally do if you were just standing and performing a song. So those are the things really to remember. One is a performance-based thing, and one's a technique thing. You've got to be able to hold, you breathe properly, diaphragm, etc., etc. Well, they're tremendous questions. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. Absolutely brilliant. You're all amazing. I'll see you at 3 o'clock. Cardio. Start the week with a bit of cardio, if you can make it. Much love. See you later.